This video has timestamps. If you are here for the gameplay, skip to this section of the video or check the description for other timestamps to skip to. This is not meant as a scientific proof that one headset is better than the other. This is mainly meant to show my personal experience with both headsets so that the new players or players who are thinking of switching their headset can get a better picture and have more material that they can base their decision making upon. There's currently many discussions going on if the Quest 3 is any good for Beat Saber. Questions like, how's the tracking? Is it good enough for Expert Plus? And can you use claw grip with it? Are very common. When I got my Quest 3, I was also wondering about this. Although these are standard questions that arise in the Beat Saber community with most new VR headsets, it seems special with the release of Quest 3 compared to other headsets. For any of you that don't know why people are so uncertain about the Quest 3, the main reason is that many players, especially in the higher levels, are gripping the controllers differently for Beat Saber to get higher accuracy and in the end a higher score. One of the most popular grips for Beat Saber is the claw grip, where you put two fingers over the controller so that you can use your wrists more while playing. This worked well with Rift S and Quest controllers up until now, because the tracking points that are needed for your headset to know where your controllers are located in a ring that goes over the controller buttons. With the Quest 3 controllers, Meta got rid of those rings and put the tracking points inside of the controller. So now if you want to use claw grip or any other grip that goes over the top of the controller, you will be blocking some of those points, possibly making the tracking worse. With all that in mind, I put on my headset, started up Beat Saber over Quest Link and played some maps with claw grip. I wanted to find out two things. Firstly, can you use the claw grip with the Quest 3 controllers? And secondly, is the tracking of the Quest 3 comparable to the Rift S? At first, my experience was terrible. I lost tracking on many occasions and it felt very unreliable. There were times where I lost tracking for just a few split seconds, sometimes my saber just did something completely different to my movement, and on some occasions I lost 2 degrees of movement where it seemed like only the data of the gyroscope was received in-game. I went out of that session very upset and thought that I had to go back to the Rift S for sure. A few days later I was like, okay, let's give the Quest 3 one last chance, and I did some small tests to find out which headset I should stick with going forward. In the end, I'm very glad that I did these tests. As you will be able to see in a few seconds, the Quest 3 is actually more than good enough for Beat Saber, even with claw grip. The main reason why I had problems with the tracking in my first session was because of my batteries. It seemed that my batteries were slightly moving around in the controllers while playing, and because of that, the controllers lost power sometimes for a fraction of a second, which in turn made the tracking unreliable. I switched out my batteries and it seemed to work better after that. So, let's get to the tests. For the first one, I've played 3 maps with Quest 3 and Rift S. I chose maps with different mapping types so that I could see if one of the headsets was better in some types, while the other headset would be better in other types. Keep in mind that I'm not a speed player or a pro, so the highest difficulty map in my testing pool had a rating of 8.38 stars. After that, I wanted to do a final check to test the reliability of the Quest 3's tracking. For that, I chose a map which had long parts of fast patterns. That way it would be more noticeable if the tracking would cut out or falter at any point during those parts. I'll be playing those clips now. After that, I'll be talking a bit about what I found out and how playing felt. So, after those tests, one of my initial questions can be very easily answered. Can you use the claw grip with the Quest 3's controllers? Yes, definitely. The other question about if the Quest 3's tracking is comparable to the tracking of the Rift S is a bit more difficult to answer. I did generally get higher scores with Quest 3, even though I had more missed notes. As far as I could see it, most of the misses on both headsets were user errors, and there hasn't been any big tracking loss, except on some upswings, but that is, from my experience, common on Rift S as well. One reason for the higher number of missed notes with the Quest 3 is likely the delay. It is very noticeable, especially coming from the Rift S, but I think this is something that you can get used to quite quickly. I just tend to stand a bit further back, so that I still hit the notes at the same time as I would without the delay. A reason for the higher scores with Quest 3 could be that the sabers are just better aligned for me with the default settings. Rift S sabers are differently aligned, facing more inwards than Quest 3. This can easily be fixed in the settings, which I maybe should have done for these tests, but you always know better after the fact. What is still a mystery to me is why the footage looks so different. The swings on the Quest 3 look way less smooth than on the Rift S. You'd think that that would mean that the tracking is worse and that you should get lower scores and more misses because of that, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I'm not quite sure what's up with that, but it might have something to do with the delay on Quest 3, making my swings seem more frantic while they actually aren't. Or maybe it's because of the limited bandwidth that can get through the USB-C cable I was using. If you have any ideas on why this could be or how the swings could be made smoother after the fact, please write a comment. All in all, I'd say that the Quest 3 exceeded my expectations. It might generally be not as good as the Rift S for Beat Saber, but for me, it most likely is. Be it saber alignment settings or just luck, I got some of my best scores ever during this testing with the Quest 3, and I will definitely keep playing with it. Here's a comparison of everything I noticed while playing. The other main reasons why I will keep using the Quest 3 over the Rift S are these. With the better visuals, it feels like I'm able to discern the arrows on blocks way sooner on the Quest 3 than on the Rift S. And because I'm playing with the default headset audio, and Beat Saber is a rhythm game, having better sound is a big plus as well. Also, there is a good chance that the tracking of the Quest 3 controllers could get upgraded in the future. I actually got a software update for my controllers during a short break in my testing. I personally didn't notice any big changes in the tracking, but who knows? They put out some good updates with the Quest 2, so they might continue this trend with this one. So, with all that said, I hope this video was helpful in any way. If it was, please leave a like.